Something that shouldn't be real but is. I'm not talking about a ghost you think you saw in the corner of your eye or a weird sound in the night. I mean something that, once you see it, you wish you hadn't. Something that follows you home, even if it doesn't leave the mirror. What happened to me at Rolling Hills Asylum still messes with my head. And if you're watching this late at night, maybe close the curtains. You'll see why in a second. Before I tell you, do me one favor. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. New horror drops every night at 7 p.m. And trust me, some stories are way darker than you're ready for. All right, let's get into it. So this all went down about, 2 years ago? Yeah, right before the pandemic hit. I was doing this project, kind of like a side hustle, documenting allegedly haunted locations across upstate New York. My name's Brian, 31, freelance videographer, mostly weddings and real estate. But ghost hunting was always, a weird hobby of mine, ever since I was a kid. I didn't really believe in it. It was just exciting, thrilling. Anyway, I was staying with my cousin Jamie, who lived like 20 minutes from Rolling Hills Asylum. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's this massive, creepy brick building that used to be a poorhouse, a psychiatric ward, and even a tuberculosis wing. Over 1,700 documented deaths. The kind of place you walk into, and the air just feels wrong. I booked a private overnight tour. Just me, my camera, a GoPro strapped to my chest, and an old flashlight I probably should have replaced the batteries in. And I swear to you, I went in thinking I was just gonna get some dusty hallways. Cold spots, maybe a flickering light or two. But what I found was her. So the place was mostly pitch black, except for the emergency exit lights that gave off this, like sickly green glow in the halls. I start filming in the East Wing, supposedly, where the psychiatric patients were kept. Right away, it's eerie. The walls are peeling, there's graffiti everywhere, and you can hear this constant creaking. But there's no wind. At first, it was just small stuff. I'd hear dragging sounds like someone pulling a chair across the floor. Except there were no chairs. I walked past one of the rooms and, I kid you not, the doorknob turned. I froze, thought maybe it was a prank. Staff messing with me. But then I checked, there was no one else on the floor. I was the only one in that entire wing. And that's when I noticed the mirror. It was cracked, dusty, probably hadn't been cleaned in years. But it was standing against the wall in a room labeled Room 232. I walked past it and I saw someone. A girl, pale face, long black hair. But when I turned around, no one was there. And the weirdest part? She didn't look like an old patient or some demon thing. She looked real. Like a normal girl, about 16 maybe. Just sad. So yeah, I should have left. I know I should have left. Most people would have called it a night after seeing a ghost girl in a cracked mirror, right? But there was something about her. I don't know how to explain it. It was like she wasn't just appearing to me, she was looking for me. And honestly, a part of me wanted to understand who she was. Maybe it was guilt, curiosity. Maybe I was just stupid. I came back to room 232 around 3:15 a.m., the so-called witching hour. I remember checking my phone before I walked in. The time read 3:14, and by the time I got the camera set up, it ticked over. 3:15. I swear, the moment that clock changed, the air in the room changed too. It got cold. Not just chilly, but deep bone cold, like you stepped into a freezer naked. My breath came out in short white clouds, and even my fingertips started going numb. I sat on the floor in front of the mirror. Just me, the camera on a tripod behind me, and the old mirror leaning against the wall, cracked from top to bottom like spiderwebs. The frame was this chipped, silver-painted wood. Probably hadn't been touched since the 1940s, and I just stared at it. At first, nothing happened. Just silence. But not the peaceful kind. It was the kind of silence that feels watched. You know how sometimes you're in a room alone, but it feels like someone else is breathing with you? Yeah, that. I started hearing faint noises. Little taps. First behind me, then to the side, like fingertips brushing across the walls. I'd spin around with the flashlight, but the beam would just fade into dust. Then came the whispering. Not loud, but close. Right in my ear. It wasn't even words at first, just murmurs. Like someone talking through the wall. I whispered back, "Hello?" "And I swear. The whisper stopped. Like it was listening. Then the mirror started to fog up. I didn't notice at first. I mean, there was no heat in the building, no reason for condensation. But it was like something on the other side was breathing. The fog spread out slowly, and then, like in one smooth motion, a word began to appear in the middle of the glass, as if a finger was dragging through the mist. "Stay!" I felt this wave of nausea in my gut. My flashlight flickered. The camera behind me shut off. Click. Dead. Then just beyond the reflection, I saw her again. But this time she wasn't sad. She was smiling. Not like a friendly smile. It was this slow, unnatural grin, like her face was stretching wider than it should. She raised her hand in the reflection and placed it against the inside of the mirror. "I swear to you, I didn't move." I didn't raise my hand. But in the mirror, my reflection did. My reflection was moving without me. I blinked, shook my head, but the reflection kept its hand up. And then it started tapping on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. Then it started to bang. Tap, tap, bang. Tap, tap, bang! I backed up, scrambled to my feet. I could barely breathe. That's when I noticed something else. Something so subtle I almost missed it. Behind the girl in the mirror, there were others. Just shapes at first. Shadowy figures in the corners. Bent at weird angles, some crawling on the floor of the reflection, others just standing there twitching. They didn't have eyes. Their faces were blank. I turned around, scanning the room, but there was nothing there. Only in the mirror. Suddenly, I heard laughter, childlike, but not playful. It was high-pitched and fragmented, like a broken record looping at the wrong speed, and then the mirror cracked. Not just the glass, it screamed. Like it was alive. This sharp, echoing noise that went straight into my spine. I covered my ears and stumbled out of the room, running down the hall. But the hallway had changed. There were wheelchairs in the corridor now. Rusted, overturned. I swear they weren't there before. And the walls, and they looked wet. Like something had been smeared across them. Dark red smudges in shapes like hands. Small hands. Dozens of them. I kept hearing footsteps behind me. Soft, dragging feet. But every time I turned around, the hall was empty. Except the mirror shapes were starting to appear on the walls now, like shadow versions of people burned into the corners. I was shaking so bad I could barely hold the flashlight. And just before I reached the stairwell, I heard the voice again. This time, clear. It was hers. She whispered, "I see you now." I don't even know how I made it down that hallway. My legs were shaking and my head was spinning. Like the air was too thick, like I was drowning in it. And I swear every time I turned around, the hall behind me got shorter, like the space was collapsing. The lights kept flickering in this weird rhythm, almost like they were pulsing, in sync with my heartbeat. I burst into the main lobby, finally thinking I was safe. But then I heard it. "Brian." My name. She said my name. I hadn't told anyone I was going in that night. My cousin didn't even know the date. I froze, couldn't breathe. Just turned slowly toward the east hallway, and every light down that corridor turned on at once. One by one, click, 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 click. Then I saw her. At the end of the hall, she was standing under a busted light, which flickered just enough to catch the outline of her dress. White, maybe? Or just so faded it looked that way. Her head was tilted. Her arms hung loosely at her sides, but her hands, they were twitching, like little spasms. And her face? God, I'll never forget that face. It wasn't sad anymore. It wasn't even angry. It was empty. Like something had hollowed her out from the inside. No eyes, just deep wet sockets where they used to be. And her mouth, it wasn't smiling anymore. It was open. Too wide, like the jaw had unhinged. Like it was trying to scream, but no sound came out. I took a step back. And that's when I saw the mirror behind her. Not on the wall. Just hanging there, like suspended in midair. It was swirling. The glass moved like water. And inside that surface, Things were pushing against it from the inside. Hands, faces, pressing, slipping, vanishing. She stepped forward. And so did they. The mirror cracked again, but this time it didn't shatter. It opened. The wall behind her tore open like paper, and this sickening black fog started rolling in, low to the floor, stretching down the hallway like fingers. And her voice, it wasn't just in my ears now. It was in my head. Stay with me. Forever. Then she started running. Fast. Not like a child and like a thing with too many legs. Her limbs jerked with each step. Head bobbing, arms flailing behind her, mouth still open, too wide. I turned and sprinted for the door. The fog was following me, filling every crack, licking at my heels. I could feel her behind me, not like footsteps, but her presence. Like the air hated me. I burst out through the rusted emergency exit, nearly tripped on the steps and bolted to my car. Fumbling with the keys, sobbing. Yeah, I was straight up sobbing. I finally jammed it into the ignition. I looked up in the rearview mirror and she was in the back seat. Just for a split second. Her eyes, or the sockets, stared into mine, and her mouth was closed now, but twitching. I spun around. Nothing. The back seat was empty. I floored it out of there. Tires screeched. Gravel flew. I didn't look back until I was 5 miles down the road. I didn't sleep for 3 nights after that. Not even a minute. I'd lie there staring at the ceiling, every nerve in my body wired, waiting to hear a footstep. A whisper. A breath that wasn't mine. The worst part? The silence. Because when things are silent, she shows up. First thing I did when I got home, I covered every mirror in the house. The bathroom, the hallway, even my laptop webcam and the glossy, black screen of the TV. Anything that could reflect. It wasn't just fear, it was instinct. Like my brain knew something was still watching me. I told Jamie, my cousin, about it, but she just thought I was overtired, stressed, probably hallucinating. But I wasn't. I know what I saw. I felt her. You know when someone is behind you and your whole body tenses? That ice-cold crawl up your back like your skin knows something before your eyes do? That hasn't stopped. And it's not just when I'm alone anymore. I started seeing things out of the corner of my eye, at work, at the grocery store, in my car's rearview mirror. Once I was editing footage late at night. And in the playback, just for a few frames, I saw her again. Behind me. She's not gone. And I don't think she can leave. Because she's inside the reflection now. One time I caught myself brushing my teeth at like a.m. and I'd forgotten to recover the bathroom mirror. And there she was. Standing behind me. Not moving. Just watching. Her mouth was stitched shut this time. Or as though it was just sealed. Like it had never opened in the first place. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I just froze. My toothbrush slipped from my hand, hit the sink. I blinked. Gone. You ever blink and hope you wake up, but you're still there? Every time I pass a window now, even if I don't look, I feel her. If I ever dare to glance, I know I'll see her again. And this time, she might not be content staying behind the glass. She's closer now. I can feel her in the house. In the walls. I don't know how much longer I can go without looking in a mirror, but I'm terrified that if I do, I won't see myself anymore. I'll see her. Or worse, I'll be on the other side. And you know the real horror? I think she wants to trade places. That's it. That's my story. Believe me or not, it's real. Whatever was in room 232, it followed me. It lives in reflections now. So if you're watching this, seriously, I'm begging you, don't go ghost hunting alone. And whatever you do, never stare too long into a mirror. Because sometimes, the thing staring back isn't you. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I drop new true horror stories every night at 7 p.m. Tomorrow's tale? It's about a missing person case in Oregon where the searchers disappeared too. Until then, stay safe. And maybe, just maybe, cover that bathroom mirror before bed tonight.